Shalom, shalom. It's the brother Kadash. I want to start off by giving all praise. I will This is another camp. My last camp I did, it was exposing this world for being wicked, because a lot of people don't understand that this is a wicked world. So I want to kind of go more on that. More into that and just exposing even more how wicked this world is, and that Esau is the devil, because that goes along with, once you understand that the world is wicked, then you have to understand who's in rulership of the world, right? And you have to understand that he is the devil, because he's the one that went out and deceived the whole world. You know, I was in Chicago over the weekend, and I was just, downtown seeing some of the statues they got, seeing some of the idolatry they got that our people follow, seeing some of the wickedness that's out there, especially during the nightlife, and I can see how the world is wicked. But what gets me all the time is how other people can't see that this is a wicked place. I mean, look at the BET Awards over the weekend with Lil Nas X, he stole the show. Now the BET Awards, because remember they used to have 106 Report on BET. So it always had to be like PG-13, right? But here now at the BET Awards, they got a man kissing another man, and a man bending down like he's going to give him oral sex or something like that, and it's just complete wickedness. If you can't see it, then it's probably because you're wicked too. When you're in something and you're participating in something, then you can't see the extent of it because you're participating in it. So I want to start off with Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. I'm pretty much going to go through all these chapters. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon my tower. I will watch to see what he was saying to me and what I should answer when I am reproved. That goes back to Ezekiel chapter 33. We are like watchmen, right? So we're watching and we're seeing that this world is wicked. We're watching and we see that Esau fits the prophecy, so-called Caucasian, that fits the prophecy of him being the Edomites, of him being the wicked. It all goes together. That's how we can identify through the spirit who everybody is. We can identify who the Edomites are. We can identify who the Israelites are through the prophecies, right? Just like the prophecy of the curses coming upon the Israelites, and we can tell that the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans are the Israelites. We can tell. The prophecy of the wicked being a rulership, right? We can look at who's in rulership, just like when I was in Chicago and I was downtown. A lot of their statues, you can tell like old statues and stuff like that, symbolize the man who conquered this land, which are the Edomites. So you can tell who fits the prophecy to everybody else. It says, verse 2, it says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon the tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for a point of time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Which is the same thing with the mark of the beast. It seems like it's tarrying, because that's one of the major prophecies before the Lord comes back, is the mark of the beast being fulfilled. The mark of the beast being implemented, and everybody having, no man can buy or sell unless you take the mark of the beast. That's one of the prophecies, and that's how we know we get to the end. But this speaks for all the prophecies, Esau being destroyed, it's tarrying, but it seems like it's tarrying, but we have to wait for it. So what the guy Ozone did, we're not supposed to be doing all that. We're supposed to be waiting on the Lord. It says, verse 3, it says, the vision is yet for verse 4. Verse 4 says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yeah, also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as him, and as death, he cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heap into him all people. So this is revealing who the devil is in the Bible. So you got to put it together, you got to get the details, right? And it's going to reveal who he is. Now, it's saying, look, he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. But we know that we know so-called Caucasian men, they didn't keep at home. They went conquering all these different lands. Even to this day, they're in all different affairs around the earth that has nothing to do with them. But it has something to do with them because they're in rulership and it's in their kingdom. They didn't keep at home. Who enlarges his desire as the hell and as death and cannot be satisfied? Who is that talking about that cannot be satisfied? Well, look at America. They have America, the greatest country that the earth has ever seen so far, right? But they still over there messing with Iran. They still over there messing with the Africans. They want more. They want the whole world. They can't be satisfied. And even once they get their new world order, they're still not going to be satisfied. They want to implement you. They want to implant you with chips in your hand, which is the mark of the beast. They want you to slave. Verse 6, it says, and heap it into him all people. So what's heaping into you all people? America. A place, this place on the earth is the number one place where there's a mixture of all people. This place fits that prophecy more than any other place on earth. You come here, this is the biggest mixing pot where there's all people mixed together. That's who it's talking about. And who controls the Americas? Well, like I said, you go downtown, you look at some of the statues, and then you see the men that conquer this land and that controls this land. It's not that hard, but a lot of people lie to themselves, right? Verse 7, shall not they rise up suddenly that shall bite him, and awake and shall vex thee? No, I'm sorry, I skipped verse 6. Should not all these take a proverb against him, and taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How woe to him that letteth himself with thick clay? Because the Roman Empire was the iron, right? But the Roman Empire letted himself with thick clay. Iron and thick clay can't go together, it's going to crumble. So that's likened to today, America is rolling all over again. And what is America doing all over again? It's doing the same things like ancient Rome. Over-expansion, devalue of religion, complete wickedness, devalue of their dollar. So it's just like ancient Rome. This is ancient Rome all over again. This is modern day Rome. And they're letting their stuff in thick clay with being with these weaker nations like the EU nations, which are eventually going to turn on America and shoot nuclear missiles and destroy America. That's why verse 7 says, should not they rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee? And thou shalt be booties unto them, right? Because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people should spoil thee. So because they spoiled many nations, then these nations are going to turn back around and spoil them, especially the Israelites. Because when you go back to the curses in Deuteronomy 28 and Deuteronomy 30, it tells you that the Lord's going to take those curses off us and going to put the curses on them. We're going to get Obadiah 1:18 too. It says, because thou hast, verse 9, it says, woe to him that coveteth and even coveteth himself, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Who has the power to do that today? Negroes don't. So it's the Edomites that have the power to do that. Thou hast consulted shame in thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against his soul, thy soul. So we're getting to understand of who this devil is, right? Because who was able to cut off many nations? Who had the power to do that? Who had the nuclear weapon? Who had the army, the advanced armies? Who has the power to do that to this day? So we got to put the pieces together, man, to be able to understand it, right? Verse 12, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city with iniquity. So how was America built? It was built off blood. How was it established? Off iniquity. They came over here. You've seen the posters going around. They took the land from the Native Americans, put them in slavery, spilled their blood. They run the Negroes over to build it up, spilled their blood, put them in slavery. And then they used the Latinos to maintain it and put them in slavery. It spilled their blood. So I read it again. It says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and established a city with iniquity. Well, America was built with blood and established with iniquity. So it says, woe to it. It's going to be destroyed. Right here, let's get some even more detail on who this man is, right? So now we're putting the pieces together to see who is the devil, right? And to prove that the earth is wicked right now. The earth is hell. There's no hell underground where fire is everlasting. This is hell right here. The demons that they portray to be in hell underneath the ground, this is hell right here. And the demons are the people with the different spirits. You know, with the different spirits that they have. I mean, like I said, going to Chicago, going out to their nightlife, man, you get some of those lines and some of those bars and those clubs, and you just listen. You know, you just listen to what the people in front of you are saying, the people behind you saying, and all you hear is complete wickedness, man. They're demons. You can see the demons on them. Once the Lord opens your spiritual eye up to see it, you can see the demons on the people. We had a group of people standing in front of us. There's a group of 5 boys, and their whole conversation is complete wickedness. It was all about gay stuff, playing with each other. I've been over and do this for you. Oh, I go low on you, no pause. I didn't mean it like that. Then they get to laughing, they touching on each other. Oh, well, let me do this for you. Oh, if you do that for me, I'll do this. But they're playing around, but not really. It's complete wickedness because we don't play around like that. They're demons, man. And that alcohol is a substance that helps you reveal your inner demon. That's why they call it liquor courage, because when you drink it, your true colors come out. You know, if we drink some alcohol or we drink some wine, the man of the Lord, what colors are going to come out? You're going to, 9 times out of 10, we're going to go into the Bible. We're going to start condemning America because we got a little, you know, we're not drunk, but we got a little wine in us, you know, we're a little bubbly. The first thing that I'm going to start doing is prophesying. Man, this place is wicked, man. The spirit going to get on you, you know? So your true colors come out, you know, and 9 times out of 10, when you're downtown and stuff, and you're seeing these different people in these different nations, you know what's going to happen to them, and they get a little drink in them, they demons start coming out. You can see it. You can see horns above their head, man. But this 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 1, it says, now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord, Yahushua Mashiach, by the gathering together unto him, that ye be not shaken in mind or troubled neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letters, as from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means. For that day should not come except there come a falling away first. That man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So that's what's happening right now. The man of sin is being revealed. The son of perdition is being revealed. So you see it in the evidence, right? Like I got a couple videos that's about to come that's just showing you evidence of what Esau did. There's a video on how some of the lakes were so-called black-owned cities underneath when they came and destroyed it, kind of like they destroyed Black Wall Street, and then they made a lake over it. So it's exposed that it's like over 10 of them that goes into the history of them, you know, white crowds coming in, destroying the land, and then making a lake over it. You know, so that's more evidence against them, you know, and then the apostles, the different elders, they putting out so many videos of evidence against Esau. He's being on trial right now. He's on trial right now, you know. We're bringing up our evidence that we got so the Lord can come back and persecute him. Now it says he's going to be revealed though, and that's what we're doing, just like this camp is revealing him. Verse 4 says, who opposing and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So I did this in another camp before too, but who's in the temple of God showing himself that he's God? Who has the power to exalt himself as God? Who has the power to control the skies? Who, you know, it's the Edomites. We know that. If you want to go out into space and shoot a rocket out of space, who do you have to go get permission from? You know, we got to stop playing around, man. We know who. You know who has the power, right? And who shows himself to be the God. If you type God on Google, who pops up? That's who's showing the world that he's God. You type in Jesus on Google, who pops up? Well, that's who's, it's the so-called Caucasian, man, which are Edomites in the Bible. That's who's showing himself to be God, you know? Leave that right there. Jump into another precept. So he just breaking them down so you can see it. You know, so you can see that the Edomites are the devil and that this place is hell. You know, not some place underground. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. It says, and there was a war in heaven, like we were saying, who has the power over the skies, with the military, with their jets, with their rockets, with their nukes. It says, and there was a war in heaven, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought, right? And his angels. So this ain't talking about a literal dragon. But now you get more understanding. The This is talking about military jets, right? This is talking about the kings of the earth and military jets fighting against the Lord in the skies versus what they call so-called UFOs. And there's a war in the heavens. There's a war in the heavens going down, right? That's what this is talking about. So if you can imagine it, right? That's why I said who has power over the skies with their jets. Now, let's prove that this war in the heaven is talking about that. Which this precept is also going to prove that the earth is wicked, because why would the earth try to, if the earth was righteous, why would they try to fight against the Lord on his return? That's because the earth is wicked and it's being ruled by the devil, which is going to deceive people into fighting against the Lord. How they're going to deceive people? They're going to say things like it's an alien invasion, like Independence Day. That's the deception to get you to fight against the Lord. This is Revelation 19. All you got to do is read the Bible and you will understand it. Or listen to the prophets. This is Revelation 19, verse 19. I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies. So this is talking about the same thing in Revelation 12. The devil, the dragon and his angels fighting against the Lord and his angels. So this is the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. So it's talking about the same account. It's talking about that same account we just read in Revelation 12, but it's giving you more details, and that's how you break down the Bible. It's like a puzzle piece. You have to get more details. You have to go to another precept to get more in detail and more depth to understand what one verse or another precept was saying. Which is exactly what I did. I pulled Revelations 12. You might not understand. You might think it's talking about an actual dragon, but then I pulled Revelation 19 to show you it's not talking about that. It's talking about the kings of the earth and their armies to make war, because that's talking about the same event. So how do the kings of the earth and their armies make war against something in the skies, in the heavens? Well, with their military jets. So now you can understand, okay, what he said is true, because he's breaking it down to me. So yeah, it's military jets fighting and making war against the Lord in the heavens, right? So now you can kind of understand it. Now you understand who has the power to do that. Well, we ain't got the power to do that. Latinos, Negroes, and Native Americans, we ain't got military jets and boots and stuff that we could access. We in captivity. We're under a people. We're a conquered people. So we don't have the power to do that. So it ain't us. So you have to ask yourself, well, who does have the power to do that? Who is the kings of the earth and the armies? Well, it's the Edomites. Who runs the earth? Right? And if you go to the NATO, who runs NATO? The military side of the nations that come together, who runs it? America runs it. So you have to ask yourself, who has the power to fight against the Lord in the heavens when he returns and try to subdue the Lord? Well, you have to say the Caucasian, the so-called white man. So then who are they in the Bible? They don't say white man or Caucasian in the Bible. Who are they in the Bible? They're the Edomites. Well, then who's the devil? We're going to read it. It says, and prevail not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. So this is talking about the kings of the earth and the army. They're not going to be in the skies no more, because they're not going to prevail. It's talking about a man, a group of men, not one man, not one antichrist. Verse 9, it says, and the great dragon was cast out, so that their great army, like we read in Revelation 19, was cast out and destroyed. The old serpent called the devil. So that great army, that old serpent, the men that they are, which they're Edomite men, they go back to the man Esau. The old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. They're called the devil. That's why Malachi 1 says they're the border of wickedness. So they're going to be cast out and destroyed when they go to fight against the Lord. So now you get more understanding, okay, the world is wicked because it's under their rulership, and the so-called Edomites, the so-called Caucasian white men, right, they are the devil. Now every man appearing to be white is not the devil, because it goes by blood, sweet line. That's why we say so-called, right? They are the devil, man. The same people that conquer us, conquer the Native Americans, conquer the Hispanics, right? It says who deceiveth the whole world, because the devil, the word devil goes back to the deceiver. They deceive the whole world. Who told you that the Lord looks like Jesus or God when you Google it? That's a deception. Who told you that gays, same-sex men, same-sex marriage is a thing? Well, America. I mean, look at the BET Wars with Lil Nas X. You know, who introduced that way of thinking? Because when we came over in slavery, we weren't thinking that way. That was beaten to our people. Well, it's the Edomites. So now you understand who the devil is, who deceiveth the whole world, who has the power to deceive the whole world. It would have to be the people that's running, that's ruling the whole world, and we already broke down who's in rulership. right? It says he was cast out into earth, and his angels were cast out with him. His armies, his people, his seed, they were cast out with him. So now you're getting more understanding. So now let's jump back. And that's why we do these camps. Because we got to break it down. And we go out our way to break it down. Because I could leave it right there. That proves that the earth is wicked. That proves that the earth is wicked, that the earth is hell, and that the Edomites are the devil. That proves right there, but we're going to continue breaking it down. That's what I camp for. As a matter of fact, jump back. And you jump back to Revelations. Because when you say, look, the sea of glass, the lake of fire, and that's underground. That's not talking about underground, because we just got context. The Lord will destroy them, take them out the heavens, and then he's going to come down on earth and punish their people and destroy their people too. And this proves it that the earth is heaven. I mean, the earth is hell right now. This world is hell right now. This is Revelation 15 verse 1. And I saw another sign of heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues. For them is filled up the wrath of God. And I saw it as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that have gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over his name, standing on the sea of glass, having the heart for God. Because when they're standing on the sea of glass, those who get saved, they're going to be standing on the sea of glass, and they're going to be looking down at all the hell on earth and the fire on earth. They're going to look down and see America destroyed. They're going to look down and see China destroyed, Russia destroyed. So they're going to, those who got salvation by the way of the chariots, which are so-called UFOs, are going to be looking down and see the fire on the earth. It's not talking about some everlasting burning fireplace underneath ground. It's talking about them looking down and seeing the fire on top of the earth. Kind of like fire season in California. When the helicopters are going by and all those flames are going, it looks like a lake of fire. But it's going to be even worse, 1,000,000 times worse. Because why? Because they're going to not be just man-made fires started in the woods somewhere. It's going to be nuclear weapons going off and missiles and different rockets, mid-range, long-range, short-range, torpedoes. You know, it's going to go down, man. So this is Psalms 94, verse 1. It says, O Lord, to whom vengeance belongeth. O Lord, to whom vengeance belongeth, show thyself. We praying the same thing for the Lord to come back, show himself, and get vengeance, right? Isaiah 34. It says, lift up thyself, thy judge of the earth. Render a reward unto the proud. Isaiah 13 tells you who's going to render that reward to the proud. We're going to get that one too. It says, Lord, how long shall the wicked trumpet? So the wicked is in rulership. Who's trumpet right now? Who has the pride? American pride. Who's very powerful? Who's in rulership? Put the pieces together. But how long should they trumpet, right? How long shall they utter and speak hard things, and all the workers of iniquity boast themselves, right? Who boast themselves more than Americans? Anywhere you go around the world, they say, oh, these Americans are proud. These Americans have pride because they're very boastful, man. And they're not talking about Negro Americans, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They're talking about Edomite Americans.